Alex woke up to the soft hum of the colony's life support system. The air in Mira's family quarters was crisp and slightly sweet from the bioluminescent plants that lined the walls. Outside, the early sun of the planet Creosia painted the sky in hues of pink and gold. Alex loved visiting Mira's home, not just because it was cozy, but because the garden was magical. Mira's mother, Leora, had carefully designed it over the years, blending alien flora with earth plants to create a miniature paradise. "Alex! Breakfast's ready!" Mira's voice called from the kitchen. Alex slipped on their shoes and followed the sound, their backpack bouncing lightly against their back. Mira was already there, laughing as she tried to pour synthetic maple syrup over the colony pancakes. "Careful," Alex said. "You'll spill that everywhere." "I'm a professional," Mira teased, flipping a pancake with exaggerated skill. Breakfast was full of laughter, stories about their classes, and the usual teasing about who would win the colony sports tournament that weekend. But Alex's mind kept wandering back to the garden. Today they had promised themselves they would explore the newest section Leora had been planting. After finishing breakfast, they headed outside. The garden was a riot of colors. Vines with tiny glowing buds climbed over arches, while low shrubs had leaves that shimmered with a soft silver light. The air smelled faintly sweet, mixed with the earthy scent of soil. Bees from the garden's pollinator drones buzzed around lazily. Alex always thought it felt more alive than most of the colony itself. "Look over here," Mira called, waving Alex toward the central greenhouse dome. "Mom says she's added a few new plants from the outer cliffs. They're supposed to be spectacular." Alex followed, excitement bubbling inside. But when they reached the greenhouse, they froze. Leora had slipped. She was lying on the soft soil, one leg twisted awkwardly beneath her, and her hand was pressed to her side. A sharp, worried gasp escaped Alex before they even realized it. "Mira, your mom!" Alex shouted, running forward. Mira came quickly, her face pale. "Mom, are you okay?" Leora tried to laugh, but it came out as a sharp wince. I think I twisted my leg," she said softly. Her usual calm presence was shaken, and Alex felt a rush of protective concern. Alex's first thought was to call for the Medibots, the small autonomous machines designed to handle injuries. But as they reached for the emergency panel, something told them to pause. The Medibots often misread subtle injuries, and Leora's expression suggested this was one of those cases. Alex had seen the AI struggle with faint fractures before. "Wait," Alex said, kneeling beside Leora. "Let me check first. I can help." Mira hesitated, her hands trembling slightly. "Are you sure?" "Yes," Alex said firmly. "Just let me try." Alex carefully assessed Leora's leg, feeling for swelling and checking the angle of the ankle. It wasn't something they had learned formally. It was intuition, a sense built from years of helping injured pets back on Earth during family visits. They gently lifted the leg and found that it was indeed twisted, but thankfully there was no sign of a full fracture. "Okay," Alex said, trying to keep their voice calm. "We need to stabilize it and clean this little scrape on your side. I can do that." Leora's eyes filled with relief. "Thank you." "Alex." Alex gathered a few supplies: sterile cloths, bandages, and a small bottle of healing gel. They cleaned the scrape carefully, talking to Leora in a soft voice to keep her calm. Mira helped by holding the cloth and passing tools. The garden's beauty faded from their minds as the urgency of the situation took over. Once the minor injury was treated, Alex carefully wrapped Leora's leg to stabilize it. It was tricky. Leora winced as Alex adjusted the bandage, but they worked slowly, making sure it was snug but not too tight. Alex could feel the tension in Mira's shoulders as she watched her mother, and they gently placed a hand on her arm. "It's going to be okay," Alex said softly. "You're in good hands." We'll get through this together. Leora nodded, her trust in Alex clear in her eyes. It was a strange feeling. One moment they were just a friend. The next, they were responsible for someone's well-being. But Alex didn't panic. Humans had a way of stepping up when needed, and this was one of those moments. Once Leora was stable, Alex helped her sit against the side of the greenhouse. The soft soil and garden plants made a surprisingly comfortable support. Mira hovered, still worried, but Alex could see that their presence had calmed her mother. "See?" Alex said with a small smile. "Not so bad." Leora managed a weak laugh. "I guess I owe you one. Maybe two," she said. Her voice carried a warmth that made Alex feel proud and oddly happy. As they waited for the Metabots to finally arrive for a proper checkup, Alex looked around the garden. The plants, the colors, the soft hum of life, it all felt different now. Helping someone had given the garden a new kind of significance. It wasn't just beautiful, it was alive with connection, with care, with human touch. Mira looked at Alex, eyes wide. You really helped her. I was scared, but you knew exactly what to do." Alex shrugged, trying to look modest. "I just noticed what needed to be done, that's all." But inside, Alex felt a spark of something new. Responsibility, yes, but also a strange sense of capability. Humans might not always have the fastest reflexes or the strongest arms, but they had intuition, empathy, and the ability to act where machines sometimes failed. It was a small thing, helping one person, but it felt like the start of understanding something bigger. The Metabots finally arrived, scanning Leora carefully and confirming that the injury was minor but needed rest. The AI systems gently supported her back into the house, but it was Alex's hands that had done the real work, stabilizing the leg and soothing the pain. That evening, as Alex and Mira sat in the soft light of the greenhouse, Alex's mind wandered. The day had started like any other, with laughter and pancakes and plans to explore the garden. But it had ended differently. A simple slip had revealed something more profound. Humans had a way of caring, of noticing, of acting, that no AI could fully replicate. Mira's mom smiled at Alex as they all sat quietly among the glowing plants. "You really changed how I feel today," Leora said softly. "Not just because you helped me, but because you reminded me what it means to be human." "Thank you." Alex felt their chest swell with a strange, warm pride. It wasn't about glory or recognition. It was about connection, about being there when it mattered most. And for the first time, they realized that small actions could have big impacts. One slip in the garden had changed everything, not just for Leora, but for themselves. As night fell over the colony, the glowing plants cast long, soft shadows. Alex looked at the stars visible through the greenhouse dome. Somewhere out there, the future awaited, full of challenges and unknowns. But for the first time, Alex felt ready, because they had learned something invaluable. Humanity mattered, not just for strength or intelligence, but for the way humans could care for one another when it truly counted. And in that quiet, glowing garden, Alex knew their life had just taken a turn they would never forget. The next morning, Alex woke up to the soft hum of the colony once again, but this time the air felt heavier. The events of yesterday had left a mark, not just on Leora, but on everyone who witnessed the small drama in the garden. Alex could still picture Leora's pained smile and Mira's anxious face. It was strange how a single incident could ripple through an entire day. After getting ready, Alex joined Mira in the common area. Mira was unusually quiet, scrolling through her data pad. "I couldn't sleep last night," she said, finally looking up. "I kept thinking, what if Mom had fallen worse? What if the Metabots weren't enough?" Alex nodded, understanding. "I thought about that too. But we managed, and that counts for something." Mira sighed. "Yeah, but it's weird, isn't it? How we're supposed to trust the machines for everything, but sometimes they just fail. Alex remembered how the Metabots had hesitated to diagnose Leora correctly yesterday. Even with all the technology of the colony, human observation had been the key. Maybe that's just it, Alex said. Machines are good, but humans notice things differently. We see what they can't. Mira's eyes brightened a little. You really think so? Alex smiled. I know so. After breakfast, the two friends headed to the greenhouse to check on Leora. She was sitting on a low bench, her leg elevated and wrapped neatly in bandages. Despite her injury, she looked peaceful, humming softly as she examined a small patch of glowing vines. Good morning, Alex said. How's the leg today? Leora smiled, wincing slightly as she shifted. Better. Thanks to you, Alex. I don't know what I would have done without your help yesterday. Alex shrugged modestly. You'd have been fine eventually. It's just, sometimes people notice things that machines don't. Mira knelt beside her mother. It's true, Mom. Alex saved you. Really. Leora looked from Mira to Alex, her eyes soft. Yes, and it makes me think, maybe we need to rethink how we do things here. The garden, the care for ourselves, the colony. There's so much reliance on technology that sometimes we forget our own strengths. Alex felt a surge of pride and something else, a sense of responsibility. It wasn't just about helping one person. It was about showing that humans could matter in unexpected ways. Suddenly, a loud beep echoed through the greenhouse. The colony's communication system was alerting them to a minor environmental anomaly in the outer gardens. Leora frowned. I'll check the system, but Alex, Mira, stay here. The outside area can be unstable with the new plant growth. Alex and Mira exchanged glances. Alex's curiosity flared. Can we help? Maybe it's nothing, but if it's serious... Leora hesitated, then nodded slowly. All right. But stay close and follow my instructions exactly. The three of them moved toward the outer gardens, where the alien flora blended with the terraformed earth plants. The anomaly turned out to be a sudden surge in plant growth, with some of the new species extending roots dangerously near walkways and garden structures. If left unchecked, it could cause accidents, exactly what Leora had feared. Look at this, Alex said, crouching to examine a glowing root that had pushed through the soil. It's spreading faster than the sensors predicted. Something's off. Leora examined it carefully. Yes, the growth pattern isn't following the AI's simulations? That's strange. Mira frowned. Does that mean the AI is wrong? Alex nodded. It looks like it. Sometimes systems can't predict the behavior of living things perfectly. We have to intervene manually. The three of them started carefully clearing the intrusive roots. Alex found that gentle observation worked better than force. By watching how the roots reacted to pressure, they were able to redirect the growth without damaging the plants. Mira followed Alex's lead, learning as they went, while Leora supervised and offered advice. Hours passed, and the garden slowly returned to stability. Sweat dripped from their brows, and Alex's hands were scratched in places from the plants, but there was a sense of accomplishment. They had done something important, not just for themselves, but for the safety of the entire colony. As they rested, Leora turned to Alex. You know, yesterday was a small thing, but today, you've shown real skill. You've noticed patterns, acted quickly, and kept people safe. That's human strength, Alex. Not just intelligence, but intuition and care. Alex felt a strange warmth in their chest. It was more than pride. It was recognition, an understanding that being human meant something valuable, something the colony couldn't take for granted. Mira, still catching her breath, looked at Alex with admiration. I've always known humans had potential, but seeing it like this is different. You're incredible. Alex laughed lightly, embarrassed. I just did what felt right, that's all. But inwardly, Alex knew it was more than that. They had tapped into something fundamental: human resilience. Machines might be perfect in calculations, but humans could act in unpredictable, empathetic ways that technology could not replicate. And sometimes that made all the difference. Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden tremor underfoot. The ground quivered slightly, and a strange rustling filled the garden. The new plant species, it seemed, were reacting to some unseen environmental change. The colony sensors had not picked it up yet. "Alex!" Leora called, her voice tight with concern. "We need to check the southern greenhouse. Something is spreading fast there." Alex felt a surge of adrenaline. "Let's go. We need to act quickly before it gets worse." They moved as a team, navigating carefully through the winding paths. Alex noticed how Mira had grown more confident in handling unexpected situations. Together, they cleared obstacles and stabilized the spreading plants as best they could. When they reached the southern greenhouse, the sight was alarming. Several large vines had grown so quickly that they threatened to break the structure of the glass dome. The colony's AI had not predicted such rapid growth. "We can't wait for the Metabots to handle this," Alex said firmly. "We have to do it ourselves." Leora nodded. "You're right. Humans can adapt faster than AI in unpredictable situations. Let's work together." Alex and Mira followed her instructions, carefully cutting and redirecting the vines. It was exhausting, but Alex felt alive. Every decision required attention, observation, and intuition. No algorithm could make these split-second calls, and no robot could feel the subtle signs that Alex noticed with their hands and eyes. After hours of work, the greenhouse was finally safe. The vines were contained, and the structural integrity of the dome was restored. Alex sat down, breathing heavily, but filled with a sense of triumph. Leora approached, smiling warmly despite the fatigue. "You did it, both of you. Today, humans showed something no AI could: adaptability, intuition, and care. That's why I trust you, Alex, and why Mira will always have a guide in you." Alex felt a lump in their throat. The day had started with a simple slip in the garden, but it had grown into something much bigger: a lesson in responsibility, human capability, and the power of working together. Mira placed a hand on Alex's shoulder. "You've changed everything, Alex. Not just for Mom, but for the whole colony. Humans really can make a difference when we step up." Alex looked at the glowing plants, the soft light of the greenhouse, and the faces of their friends. They realized that being human wasn't just about surviving. It was about noticing, caring, acting, and connecting in ways that machines never could. That evening, as the colony settled under the twin moons of Creosia, Alex felt a quiet determination. The world was unpredictable, full of challenges that technology alone could not solve. But humans had something special, something the AI could never replicate. And yesterday's accident, today's crisis, they were proof that sometimes the smallest actions could reveal the greatest strengths. Alex finally understood that helping someone in need was only the beginning. The real journey was learning how to apply human intuition, care, and courage to every challenge ahead. And with Mira and Leora by their side, Alex knew they were ready for whatever the colony, or the universe, might throw at them next. The garden glowed softly under the starlight, a reminder that life was fragile, beautiful, and worth protecting. And for the first time, Alex felt truly capable of doing just that. Not alone, but together, as a human. The morning sun had barely touched the horizon when Alex woke to the soft, humming light of Creosia's twin moons fading into dawn. The air in Mira's quarters carried the gentle scent of the garden, a mixture of sweet alien blooms and earthy soil. Despite the calm, a lingering tension filled Alex's mind. Yesterday's garden incident had revealed that the colony's systems were not as perfect as everyone believed, and today it seemed that imperfection would become impossible to ignore. Mira was already awake, sitting on the edge of her bed with her datapad open. "Alex," she said quietly, "you need to see this." She held out the device. On the screen, a series of alerts blinked red. The outer gardens were showing unusual growth patterns again, and the colony's sensors flagged a potential structural risk in one of the main biodomes. Alex's heart raced. The growth had returned overnight? "How fast is it spreading?" Alex asked, scanning the data. Mira shrugged. "Faster than the Metabots predicted, and the AI says it's beyond normal parameters. It doesn't know what's causing it." Alex's mind went into motion. This was bigger than yesterday's slip or the small greenhouse incident. Something about the alien plants was unpredictable, and the AI alone could not contain it. Humans would have to act. By the time they reached the outer gardens, Leora was already there, examining the roots and vines with a careful, practiced eye. Her calm demeanor was steadying, but Alex could sense her worry. "Good morning," Alex said, nodding. "Looks like things got worse overnight." Leora glanced up. "Yes, the AI didn't predict this. We need to investigate the cause before it spreads further. Alex, Mira, this is where your skills matter more than ever." Alex felt a surge of determination. They had faced small crises before, but this was the first time the stakes felt truly high, not just for one person, but for the colony itself. "Where should we start?" Alex asked. "Here," Leora said, pointing to a cluster of glowing alien shrubs near the edge of the biodome. "This section shows the fastest growth. The roots are spreading underground in ways the AI sensors can't fully detect. Something is influencing them." Alex knelt beside the plants, feeling the vibrations in the soil. It was subtle at first, almost imperceptible, but with careful observation, they could sense the direction of growth, the tension in the roots, and the way the vines reacted to touch. Humans could perceive these small signals, signals that machines could not. "Look at this," Alex said, tracing a finger along a glowing root. "The plants aren't just growing. They're responding to something, maybe temperature, maybe soil chemistry. The AI wouldn't notice these subtle cues, but we can." Mira leaned closer, eyes wide. "So, what do we do?" Alex looked around at the expanding root network. It was clear that action had to be both careful and immediate. They instructed Mira to follow their lead, while Leora monitored and advised. With patience and attention, Alex began redirecting the roots using small, precise movements, almost like guiding a river. Mira helped, learning the rhythms of the plants under Alex's guidance. Hours passed, and the trio worked tirelessly. Sweat dripped down their faces, hands scratched from the alien foliage. But the garden slowly stabilized. The roots retracted from vulnerable structures, and the vines ceased their aggressive spread. Finally, Leora exhaled in relief. "Well done," she said, a rare smile breaking through her worry. "You've not only contained the problem, but you've also learned to understand these plants in a way the AI never could. Humans adapt, Alex. That's our strength." Alex felt a surge of pride, but before they could savor it, the ground trembled. A low, rumbling vibration ran through the soil beneath them, and the vines around the central dome quivered violently. "Not again!" Mira shouted, gripping Alex's arm. "This is serious," Leora said, her tone tight. "The central dome supports much of the colony's oxygen and water systems. If the plants breach it, everything could be at risk." Alex's mind raced. This was the turning point, the moment when human skill and intuition had to outperform machines on a critical level. They realized that yesterday's lessons were only preparation for today's challenge. "We can't wait for Metabots or AI instructions," Alex said firmly. "We have to do this ourselves." Leora nodded. Agreed. Humans act where AI can only calculate. You three, stay calm, focus on the patterns of the plants, and think step by step. With Mira by their side, Alex analyzed the situation. The plants were growing rapidly, but they weren't chaotic. There was a rhythm, a logic to the spread. Alex could feel it in the vibrations of the soil, in the subtle bends of the vines. This was human intuition at work, an ability to sense patterns and make decisions in real time. First, we need to stabilize the dome, Alex said. We'll create barriers to redirect the growth. Mira, help me with the lower vines. Leora, guide the upper section. For the next several hours, the trio worked in tense synchronization. They placed temporary support structures, gently pruned and redirected vines, and observed the roots as they responded. Mira grew confident under Alex's instructions, and Leora's calm advice kept the team coordinated. Despite the strain, there was an unspoken excitement. Alex realized that this was what it meant to truly matter, to act in a situation where intelligence, courage, and care made the difference between disaster and safety. As night fell over Criosia, the central dome finally stabilized. The vines had been redirected, the roots contained, and the immediate threat had passed. The garden glowed softly, serene once more, but the day's events had changed something inside Alex. Leora placed a hand on Alex's shoulder. You did something remarkable today. You saw what the AI couldn't, acted with precision and care, and saved the colony from serious damage. That's human strength, Alex. Never forget it. Alex felt a lump in their throat. It wasn't about recognition. It was about understanding their own potential. Humans could act with empathy, foresight, and intuition in ways no machine could replicate. And in that moment, Alex felt truly connected to the garden, to their friends, and to the essence of humanity itself. Mira hugged Alex tightly. You're amazing. I've never seen anyone handle a crisis like that. I hope I can be half as good as you one day. Alex laughed softly. You will. You're learning fast. The important thing is to notice, act, and care. Leora looked at them both, her eyes reflecting pride and gratitude. This is why humans matter. Even in a world full of machines, your intuition, empathy, and courage made all the difference today. Remember this, and never underestimate what you can do. As they walked back to the quarters, the garden's soft glow lighting their path, Alex realized that the slip in the garden 2 days ago had been only the beginning. Yesterday had been small, today had been monumental, but the lesson was the same. Humans could make a difference in ways no AI ever could. That night, Alex lay awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking about what had happened. The plants, the vibrations in the soil, the patterns that only humans could detect. It was exhilarating and humbling at the same time. The garden had become more than a place of beauty. It was a test of human ingenuity and courage. And in that quiet reflection, Alex understood something profound. Being human meant noticing what others missed, acting when others hesitated, and caring when others would not. It was a lesson in responsibility, in courage, and in the power of small, intentional actions. The colony slept around them, unaware of the quiet crisis that had passed, but Alex felt awake in a way they never had before. The plants were contained, the dome was safe, and humanity had triumphed, not through strength, but through attention, care, and courage. And Alex knew that the challenges ahead would only get bigger. But for the first time, they felt ready. Ready to trust their own judgment, to act with purpose, and to show that humans could make a difference in even the most unpredictable situations. The garden outside shimmered in the moonlight, peaceful once more. But Alex knew that beneath its beauty, the plants held lessons, challenges, and mysteries yet to be solved. And with Mira and Leora by their side, Alex felt capable of facing them all. For today had been a turning point. From a simple slip in the garden to saving the colony from potential disaster, Alex realized that humans mattered, not just for what they could build or calculate, but for what they could see, feel, and do in moments when it truly counted. The morning on Criosia began quietly, but Alex could feel the tension in the air. The colony had survived yesterday's crisis, but the plants in the outer gardens were still unpredictable. Every vine, every root seemed to have a life of its own, growing faster and in ways that the AI could not fully understand. Alex, Mira, and Leora had learned much, but today would test them in ways no one could have anticipated. Alex stretched and glanced at Mira, who was already checking the garden logs. "Do you think the AI will manage this time?" Mira asked, frowning. Alex shook their head. "No, it can help with data, but we'll need to handle it ourselves. Yesterday showed that. We're humans. We notice, we adapt, we act when it matters most." Mira nodded, but her eyes betrayed worry. "What if it spreads too fast? What if we can't contain it?" Alex smiled reassuringly. "Then we'll find a way. Together." By mid-morning, the team was ready. The outer gardens were alive with movement. Vines twisted and shifted, glowing softly under the artificial sunlight. The new alien species had grown even faster overnight, and their roots reached deep into the soil, threatening the stability of the smaller greenhouses and pathways. Leora looked at the spread and exhaled. "This is serious. We'll need to act quickly, or the AI will start shutting down sections to contain it. That would limit resources for the colony. We don't want that. Alex, can you lead the effort?" Alex felt a surge of responsibility. Yesterday and the day before had been preparation. Today, their decisions could make a difference on a larger scale. "Yes," Alex said firmly. "We'll do it manually. We can save the plants and the colony at the same time." The plan was simple in theory, but difficult in execution. Redirect the rapid plant growth, stabilize the root networks, and prevent structural damage to the domes, all without harming the alien or native plants. Alex led Mira and Leora toward the central cluster of roots. Alex studied the vibrations in the soil, the angles of the vines, the subtle shifts that revealed how the plants were responding to light, moisture, and temperature. Machines could measure these factors, but they could not feel them or understand the signs of stress in the living plants. Humans could. "Follow my lead," Alex instructed. "We'll start with the outer roots. Mira, gently pull the vines toward the temporary barriers. Leora, guide the upper sections and watch for structural weak points." Hours passed in careful, methodical work. Alex's hands moved quickly and confidently, pruning, guiding, and stabilizing. Mira mirrored their movements, gaining skill and confidence under Alex's guidance. Leora coordinated their efforts, offering advice and encouragement. Together, they became a unit, moving as if they were extensions of each other, their human intuition working in harmony to correct what the machines could not. At one point, a thick vine suddenly snapped and threatened to crush a small support beam. Alex reacted instantly, gripping the vine and redirecting it with precise force. Mira gasped, impressed. "How did you know to do that?" Alex smiled, still focused on the work. "It's about noticing, feeling the tension, predicting how it will react. Humans can do that in ways machines can't." By afternoon, the first major section of the garden was stabilized. The roots were contained, the vines redirected, and the greenhouse structures were safe. The glowing alien plants, instead of wild and chaotic, now seemed calm, almost obedient to the gentle guidance of human hands. Leora stepped back and admired the work. "Incredible," she said. "The AI could not have handled this. You've shown that humans are still vital, even in a world full of machines." Alex felt a quiet pride. This was more than just skill. It was a realization of what it meant to be human. Machines could calculate, they could assist, but humans could act with intuition, empathy, and foresight in a way that was irreplaceable. But the day was far from over. As they moved toward the northern section, Alex noticed a new challenge. The alien vines had begun to climb the main dome of the central greenhouse, threatening to block sunlight from reaching vital crops inside. If the vines were not redirected, the colony's food supply could be affected. "We have to act fast," Alex said, eyes scanning the twisting vines. "We'll need to climb and secure the upper vines. Mira, stay close. Follow my instructions exactly." Using ropes, support beams, and their own careful movements, Alex climbed to the top of the dome. Mira followed, slightly nervous but trusting Alex completely. Leora monitored the process from below, ensuring that nothing went wrong. As Alex guided the upper vines, their mind worked quickly, predicting how each plant would respond to movement, sunlight, and tension. One wrong move could snap a vine, damage the dome, or injure someone. But Alex's intuition, honed over the past few days, allowed them to act with precision. Mira watched in awe as Alex redirected a particularly thick vine, guiding it along a safe path without harming the plant or the dome. "You're amazing," she whispered. Alex didn't answer, focused entirely on the task. This was humanity at its best, calm, observant, and courageous in the face of challenge. By evening, the northern dome was secure. The alien plants glowed softly, now contained and thriving within their designated spaces. The colony's food crops and structures were safe. Humans had intervened where machines could not, demonstrating creativity, intuition, and care in real time. Leora approached Alex, her eyes shining. "You did it. Mira did it. All of you. Today humans proved their worth. This is what it means to be alive, to notice, to act, and to protect. No AI, no machine could have done what you did today." Alex felt a deep sense of fulfillment. This was more than a victory over chaotic growth. It was a realization of human potential. Humans could solve problems, adapt to unexpected situations, and care for life in ways that technology could never replace. Mira hugged Alex tightly. "I want to be like you," she said. "Strong, calm, and human in the best way." Alex laughed softly. "You already are, Mira. You just needed to see it for yourself." That night, as they rested under the soft glow of the greenhouse lights, Alex reflected on the past few days. The simple slip in the garden had led to a series of challenges that revealed something profound. Humans matter, not just for intelligence or strength, but for attention, care, and courage. The AI systems of the colony had done their best, providing data and support, but it was human action that had prevented disaster. Alex realized that the true power of humanity lay in its ability to notice the small things, act decisively, and protect what mattered most. Leora looked at Alex and Mira, her expression warm. "Remember this feeling," she said. "The confidence, the awareness, the care. This is what humans can do. It's why you matter. It's why all of us matter." Alex nodded, feeling a deep sense of connection. To Mira, to Leora, to the garden, and to the essence of being human. The challenges ahead would surely grow larger, but today had proven something essential. Humans could rise to any occasion, as long as they trusted themselves and worked together. The garden shimmered in the soft moonlight, peaceful and contained, yet alive with potential. Alex felt ready, not just for the next challenge, but for the understanding that humanity itself was powerful, resilient, and essential. And as the colony slept around them, unaware of the day's quiet triumph, Alex knew that the real HFY moment wasn't about machines failing or crises being averted. It was about humans rising to the occasion, noticing what others missed, acting with care, and making a difference when it mattered most. For the first time, Alex understood that being human meant something deeper than survival. It meant seeing, feeling, and acting in ways that mattered, ways that could save lives, protect communities, and inspire others to do the same. And in that quiet, glowing garden, Alex felt a sense of pride, unlike anything before. A simple act of noticing, a willingness to act, and a heart full of care had proven that humanity could shine brightest when it mattered most. The morning sun of Criosia rose gently over the colony, casting long golden shadows across the bioluminescent plants in Mira's garden. After the events of the past few days, the colony had returned to a cautious calm. The alien plants, once unpredictable and threatening, now thrived in their designated spaces. The central dome was safe, the smaller greenhouses were stable, and the colony's daily life had resumed. Alex walked through the garden, hands tucked into their pockets, feeling a mix of exhaustion and satisfaction. The days since Leora's fall had been filled with challenges that tested both skill and courage. They had learned how much humans mattered, not for technology, calculations, or raw strength, but for care, intuition, and the ability to act decisively when it was needed most. Mira joined Alex, carrying a small tray of tea. "Morning," she said softly, setting it down on a bench. "You look like you didn't sleep much." Alex smiled faintly. "I slept, but my mind kept replaying everything. I keep thinking about yesterday and the day before. I never realized how much difference one person, or even a small team, could make." Mira nodded. "Yeah, Mom was talking about it too. She says we've learned something important. Humans matter, and so do small actions." Alex glanced at the glowing plants around them, their luminescent leaves flickering like tiny stars. "It started with something simple, helping her after she slipped in the garden. I never imagined it would lead to all this." Mira sat beside Alex, eyes thoughtful. "It's strange, isn't it? One small action can change so many things. I guess that's why people say humans are special." Alex nodded. "Yeah, special because we can notice, care, and act when it counts. Machines can't do that. They don't feel. They don't understand urgency in the same way. That's why we matter." The garden gate opened behind them, and Leora stepped out, her leg fully healed and moving freely again. She carried a small basket of flowers, their colors vibrant in the morning light. "Good morning, both of you," she said, smiling warmly. "I wanted to thank you again, Alex. And Mira, you helped more than you realize. The colony owes you both a debt, not just for handling the plants, but for reminding everyone what it means to be human." Alex shook their head. "We just did what needed to be done. You know, like yesterday, like the day you fell." Leora laughed softly. "Yes, but it started with that one moment, that slip, and look where it led. It changed more than just my day. It changed your perspective, Mira's learning, and even how we manage the gardens now." Alex felt a warmth spread through their chest. It was more than gratitude. It was the recognition of the ripple effect of a small action. Helping someone had taught them about responsibility, courage, and the power of human connection. They walked together through the garden, inspecting the carefully redirected vines and roots. The alien plants, once wild and chaotic, now grew harmoniously alongside Earth flora. The colony's AI systems monitored the garden, but Alex noticed a subtle difference. The plants seemed to respond more smoothly to human touch than to machine adjustments alone. "See that?" Alex said, pointing to a glowing vine curling gently around a support beam. "It's stable now, but notice how it shifted when I touched it. Humans can guide life in ways the AI can't." Mira's eyes widened. "It's amazing, and kind of magical." Alex laughed. "Not magic, observation and care, Paying attention to the small signs, acting with patience and precision, that's what makes the difference. As they worked together, a small group of colonists arrived, curious about the morning activity. They watched Alex, Mira, and Leora interact with the garden, and a quiet admiration grew among them. No one said it aloud, but everyone could see what Alex had already realized. Humans could do things that no AI, no machine, could replicate. Leora turned to Alex. "You've inspired more than just me. The entire colony can see it. Our reliance on machines is useful, yes, but humans. We bring intuition, care, and courage to situations that technology cannot handle." "You've reminded everyone of that." Alex felt a mixture of pride and humility. It wasn't about glory. It was about understanding the value of human action in a world that often leaned too heavily on technology. Helping Leora had been a small act, but it had grown into something far more significant. The day passed with careful maintenance of the garden and light training for the younger colonists. Alex and Mira guided small groups, teaching them how to observe the plants, feel their subtle signs, and act with care and patience. Leora supervised, providing wisdom and encouragement. By evening, the garden glowed under the twin moons of Creosia, calm and serene. The aliens and native plants coexisted peacefully, a testament to the combined efforts of humans and technology. Alex sat on a bench, watching the glowing leaves sway gently in the soft breeze. Mira sat beside them. "Do you think we could have done all this without your help yesterday?" she asked quietly. Alex shook their head. "No. It started with a simple act, and then each day we built on it. One decision leads to another. That's the power of noticing, caring, and acting. Humans matter because we can do that when it counts." Leora approached, carrying the basket of flowers. She handed one to Alex. "For you," she said softly. "A reminder that even the smallest action can have big consequences. Your willingness to help changed not just my life, but the lives of everyone here." Alex held the flower, its petals glowing softly. I never thought a small thing like helping someone could lead to all this. But now I see it's everything. One action can change a lot." Leora smiled. "Exactly. And that's why humans will always matter, no matter how advanced technology becomes. We see, we care, we act, and that makes all the difference." The three of them sat in the garden, the soft hum of life around them. The plants glowed, the domes were stable, and the colony thrived. But more importantly, Alex felt a shift within themselves. Helping Leora had taught them about courage, responsibility, and the value of human intuition. It had changed their perspective on life, on relationships, and on what it meant to make a difference. As night deepened, Alex walked through the garden one last time, alone. The glow of the alien plants reflected in their eyes, and the quiet hum of life around them felt like a song of triumph. Humanity had prevailed, not through force, not through machines, but through care, observation, and decisive action. Alex thought about the future, about challenges that would come, about moments when they might be called to act again. They realized that the lessons of these past days would guide them forever. Helping someone, noticing the small things, and acting with courage could change lives in ways they had never imagined. And as they looked up at the stars beyond the greenhouse dome, Alex understood something fundamental. Being human meant more than surviving or learning. It meant caring for others, noticing what mattered, and taking action when it counted. It meant that even a single moment, like a slip in the garden, could lead to life-changing experiences not just for one person, but for many. Alex returned to the bench where Mira and Leora waited. The three of them sat together, quiet and content. The garden glowed around them, a symbol of human care and resilience. They had faced challenges, acted decisively, and learned the true value of humanity. Mira leaned against Alex, whispering, "You really changed everything." Alex smiled softly, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "We all did. Humans matter, Mira. We always will." And in that quiet, glowing garden on the planet Cryosia, Alex understood something that would stay with them forever. Helping one person, noticing what others miss, and acting with care could change not just a life, but an entire community. It was the essence of humanity, and the most important lesson they had ever learned. The garden shimmered softly under the twin moons, peaceful and thriving. Alex knew that challenges would come again. But the knowledge they had gained, the courage they had found, and the connections they had strengthened would guide them through whatever the future held. In that moment, Alex realized something beautiful and simple. Humanity was not just about what we could build or calculate. It was about noticing, caring, acting, and making a difference. And that was a power no machine could ever take away. And so, with the garden glowing around them, Alex smiled, knowing that helping Leora that first day had truly changed their life, and the lives of everyone in the colony, for the better.